All right, so welcome. And I love, Therese, you said just presence. So that's a beautiful intention to start the class of just dropping in for the sake of just being present together and yet with our own personal process. So we'll lie flat as we do. And just close the eyes. Lengthen out if it's comfortable to do so. Maybe explore separating the arms and legs out a little wider. Try that on. And if you find that it's more comfortable bringing them in closer, then go ahead and do that. And just taking in a slow and full breath. And as you exhale, gently releasing the weight of the body, the weight of the day, the week, the year, all of the things that have happened before this present moment. And with every exhale, falling into this feeling of presence, of being fully here right now. And with every following breath, begin to encourage yourself to exhale a little bit slower. And as you feel your exhale releasing, soften your face, release the expression, relax your jaw, allow your eyeballs to fall back into their sockets. Inhaling slowly, sensing how and where you expand. And again, intentionally slowing the exhale down and feeling like your body falls back. And you find the support, finding that you're being held by the ground. Just taking a few moments to release and notice sensations. How does it feel? How do the feelings change as you give yourself some time and space to simply let go and breathe? And as you exhale, slowly softening around your throat, your shoulders and your arms, relaxing your hands, literally letting go. Softening around your chest and your heart, relaxing through the back of your ribs and your waist. Releasing your abdomen and your lower back. And sensing the weight of your pelvis. And releasing the tissues around the pelvis, around the hips and the groin. Sensing the weight and the release through your thighs, your knees, your calves and your feet. We'll take 3 more slower and fuller breaths. Every exhale, softening your eyes, your jaw, your hands and your feet. And on one of your following exhales, very gently allow your chin to roll towards one of your shoulders, just gently rolling your head to the side. Inhaling to roll your head back through the center. And exhaling to roll your head gently over to the other side. Breathing to roll back through center. And breathing to roll gently to the side. And we'll just let ourselves rock our head from side to side this way. Just being mindful of moving slowly, of just moving for the sake of moving, without the need to create a stretch or go as far as you can go. Relaxing and releasing the jaw. Maybe even feeling how releasing through your jaw will allow saliva to start to pool at the back of the mouth. And as we continue to gently roll our head from side to side, notice the back of your shoulders and your arms, the back of your pelvis and your legs. Can you sense any relationship of movement or weight against the floor with other parts of your body, or not? Or does it feel like the movement's really just isolated up in your head and neck? We'll just take a few more moments so that we can observe how the rest of the body may or may not respond or become involved with the movement of the head. Feeling like you're just gently relating to the back of your skull, sensing how and where you roll on the back of your skull. And when you feel ready, your head will just stay centered. And on a breath, we'll reach both of our arms up and just take a long stretch out through your fingers and toes. Feel like you're creating a star that stretches out in all directions through your extremities, through your limbs. And then we'll circle the arms down and place them on the front of our pelvis. And just gently bend one knee at a time to bring the feet to stand on the mat, close to the hips, close to the pelvis. You're welcome to lift and lower the pelvis to settle the low back. Bring your feet close together as long as it feels comfortable. And for a moment, notice that your feet come together in line with your tail and your pubic bone. And you can always use your fingers to sense your pubic bone on the front of your body. And then walk the fingers up under the navel. They travel up through the diaphragm where the ribs will start to come together, creating your breastbone. Traveling up and gently massaging on your breastbone till you come up to your collarbones. Feeling the soft center of your throat, up through your chin, the tip of your nose, your third eye, and the crown of your head. Then bring your arms back down onto the front of your pelvis and just gaze internally and appreciate that central axis through your trunk where your feet came together. And if it's not comfortable to have your feet close together or it creates effort for your thighs and groin, feel free to separate them. Also, keeping the feet together and allowing the knees to be away from each other will help to decrease any energy or effort around the thigh. We're going to take our fingertips now back to the pubic bone and just above the pubic bone, very gently begin to massage the fingertips, walking out away from each other towards the mouth of the hip or where the leg meets the pelvis. Then your fingers can come back together just a little bit above that line, and you'll walk your fingertips across. And we're just going to do a little self massage of the lower abdomen. Be gentle. Your fingers can feel like they're playing the piano. We did this earlier this month, just massaging around, right? We were sharing before the recording started, just the common, right? That feeling of being bound up in the lower back. And sometimes just massaging into the tissues on the front of the low back, if you will, can help to increase circulation and prepare the body for the movement. And you might find, especially when you're close to the bony aspects of your hip bones, that there's some tenderness in there. You can also use your thumbs, find the hip bones, or when you approach them, with your thumbs, you can kind of massage into that inner aspect. So you just gently press into your abdomen and then out. And you kind of feel the inner crevice of the, it's called the anterior superior iliac spine, or just your hips, your hip bones on the front of your pelvis. It's really not the anatomical hip, but it is often referred to as the hip. And then we can keep coming back to center and fingertips again, walking across. And eventually, take your time to get there, but eventually you'll come all the way up and underneath your ribs. So move slowly. I'm still at about the height of just coming over that hip bone or that pelvic bone. Massaging into the sides of it, feeling around. How does one side compare to the other? You can gently dig your thumbs or fingertips into the waist area and coming up under the floating rib, or just under your ribs. The floating rib is the one that doesn't attach to the ones that are attached up to the breastbone. And again, just some information that's not that important. What is important is you relating to yourself, how you're massaging with your fingertips, feeling around. And when you eventually come up around your diaphragm, you can gently get your fingertips to kind of hook underneath your ribs, like where the base of the breastbone is. And sometimes you might press there and feel a little nauseous. That's okay. That will pass. And just breathing as you massage around, exploring underneath the rib cage. Taking slow and full breaths. So when we spend a lot of time in our mind, in our thoughts, these areas can become a little restricted. They can lack energy flow in the form of breath, circulation, right? All that goes hand in hand. So doing a little self-palpation, self-massage can really help, first of all, to increase your own relationship with your body and yourself, as well as improve circulation and flow in this area of the lower back, on the back side, right, the spine, and the area of the viscera, of your abdominal organs through the front side. And so then as you're ready, you'll bring your hands back down just to rest on the front of your pelvis, let your shoulders drop back. And just kind of notice now the awareness and the energy that you sense around your abdomen. And on one of your following breaths, slowly let the right knee start to open out to the right side. And notice how that'll pick up the back of the left hip. It'll roll the back of the left hip off the mat. Go as far as it feels comfortable. Exhale or inhale and slowly roll that knee back to center. And notice both feet stand and the back of the pelvis becomes settled and centered on the mat again. The left leg will open out to the side. The back of the opposite hip gently rolls off the mat. Let it happen. And then breathe to roll that knee back through center. Notice how the foot rolls back to the earth and the pelvis does as well. We're just going to alternate from side to side. And again, with this intention for all of us of presence, of simply being with ourselves, with our breath, just simply being in our bodies without the need to look for anything. And it's funny because when we stop looking or searching or trying to stretch or produce something, I feel like we start finding, we starts to reveal, right? The gift, the gift of presence, of simply being with ourselves and feeling. How do we relate to the floor? Relaxing the abdomen, really taking advantage of the fact that right now we have so much support. The next time that the right thigh rolls out to the ground, we're going to pause there, keeping the outer thigh hovering or resting on the mat. Slide your right leg all the way out to straight, and notice that as the leg straightens out, it kind of rolls in a little bit and the pelvis drops onto the mat. Then let your left thigh roll out, that kind of picks up the back of the right hip, and then drag your left leg all the way out to straight. Inhale or exhale, arrive with both legs lengthened out. And now, as if we had an imaginary string on the right heel, drag the right heel towards the right sitting bone so that the outer right thigh hovers or just kind of grazes over the mat, and then the right knee rolls back in. So we roll it in the way that we rolled it out. Right knee will stay bent with the foot on the mat, and then your left heel slides in. The back of your right hip kind of rolls off of the mat, and then you roll your left knee back in, and you pause and center. Now your left leg is going to roll out first. Let the pelvis rock to the left. Once the outer thigh is close to the floor, drag the left leg all the way out. Once the left leg is straight, the pelvis becomes more settled, then the right thigh opens back out. And again, it rolls the pelvis to the right a bit, and then you drag the right leg all the way out and pause. The right side will be the one now that we draw back in. And it's like as if we wanted the leg to slide under. If we were doing this like underneath a table or something, then once the knee is bent, it rolls back into center. Then you draw your left heel in, the back of your right hip comes off of the mat. Once the left knee is bent, you roll the left knee into center and pause. And now the right leg opens back out to the side. Lengthen the right leg all the way out. Allow the left thigh to open out to the side. Lengthen the left leg all the way out. Last time, drawing the left heel in first. And your comfort level will determine the angle and the range. There's no right or wrong way, just simply follow what feels good. And then the other heel comes in, both feet come back to standing, and we'll start rocking our knees from side to side a little bit. Small movement so that we're staying on the back of the pelvis rather than rolling to the side just yet. And then settling back into the center. Inhale, reach both arms up and over your head. Take a long and yawning stretch, reaching out of your heavy pelvis, and then we'll interlace the fingers to bring them behind the head. If that's not comfortable, bring the hands back onto the front of the body or the pelvis. And then again, we'll let the right thigh open out to the side. Let the pelvis rock to the right, but this time keep your left foot standing on the mat. The left knee will roll towards the midline of your body, just enough that you can push into the inner edge of your left foot. And when you push down into the inner edge of your left foot, it'll lift the back of your left hip, waist, and maybe even your rib cage off the mat. Breathe slow and big belly breaths. And as you exhale, release the pressure under the left foot to drop the left hip back. Roll the right thigh back into center, then the left thigh opens out to the side. The right knee kind of rolls to the left just a little bit to push down into the inner edge of the right foot, I meant the right knee, so that again, now the right side of the back rolls off the mat. Release the pressure under the foot to roll the pelvis back. Bring the right knee over as the left knee comes in. The right thigh opens all the way out, pressing down into the inner edge of the left foot to reach the knee away from the body. Keep reminding the head and shoulders they can relax and drop back. They don't need to carry anything. They're not doing anything. Release the pressure, rolling back through center and over to the other side. And we'll just do this a couple of times. And as you're pressing down and reaching the knee away, internally, let your abdomen and visualize your body softening back into the back slings. It's like we have a hammock through the back of our body. We want to just let ourselves fall back into it. So if you feel like you're reaching and you're pressing and you're trying to go somewhere, keep the shape that you're in, but then just let the energy of your body and your effort fall back. So that the only real pressure is the inner edge of the foot pushing down. Everything else is just letting go and falling back into place. And we'll just do this a couple more times from side to side. Keep relaxing the eyebrows, the jaw. It's like the reward for the eyes after all that they've seen and interpreted. The reward for the mouth and the throat after everything that's been said or not said. Just allow it all to let go right now. So that we're just fully present right here, right now. And when you feel that you're ready, you'll pause in your center. If you're still moving, go for it. Take your time. When you're ready, pause in center. And again, reach the arms overhead. Take another long yawning stretch. And we'll all meet up, hugging our knees into our chest, placing our hands on our knees, separate the knees wide apart, and just draw them into the shoulders and breathe. You're welcome to rock a bit from side to side. If you don't feel like rocking, then don't. Just hang out in stillness and breathe. And then pausing in the center, place your left foot down on the mat. Interlace your hands behind your right thigh, up by your knee. Keep your hands behind your right knee as you move your leg away from your chest, so it'll straighten your arms because you're keeping hold of the leg. Inhale, moving your foot towards the sky, flex the foot at the top, and then bend the knee and relax the foot. And just breathe and lengthen through the back of your leg. Notice that your pelvis stays heavy on the mat. If it feels pretty fluid, pretty easy through the back of your thigh, not a whole lot of sensation, go ahead and lengthen your left leg out on the mat and keep the movement of the right leg going up towards the sky. And the right leg may not literally go all the way to straight, and that's fine. Go to the point where you feel sensation. And then release right out of it. And we'll just do that a couple more times. And the next time that your right knee is bent, keep your right knee bent. Lengthen your left leg all the way out on the mat if you haven't yet. Take your right foot and place it on the outside of the left thigh on the floor. Or the knee, right? Just get your right leg to cross over your straight left leg. Inhale and reach your arms up towards the ceiling and bring your palms together so that they line up over your breastbone. Notice that your left foot is more or less standing on the floor. Sorry, your right foot is more or less standing on the floor on the outside of your left leg. Inhale in your center, and as you exhale, guide your straight arms over to the right side, away from your left leg, and let your head roll to the side like it did initially. And it can feel like your right arm kind of pulls your left arm over. Inhale and come back to your center. Exhale, and your right hand can guide your left arm over to the right side. So it feels like the back of your left shoulder blade comes off the mat and your head rolls to the right. Breathe to come back to center, and then breathe to roll to the right. Keep a heavy head, and remember, we're just here for the presence. We're not trying to go anywhere. You don't need to go to a certain angle. Just go to the point where you feel you can still breathe. And just notice that as soon as your arms go to the right, your right shoulder is already leaving the mat. It's already creating a change and hydrating your tissues and your joints. And we'll just do that 2 or 3 more times. Last one. And then we'll come back to the center, bring the arms down at the sides, bring the right knee back into the chest with the right knee very bent. So we have a floppy foot down towards the floor, the right knee coming up towards the chest, the left leg is still lengthened out. Begin to draw a small circle with your right knee, as if we had a light shining out of our right kneecap, and we're drawing a small circle in the sky. Keep the back of the pelvis heavy. And if the circle, if the movement of your right leg is pulling your left leg along, make the movement smaller. The smaller the movement through space, the bigger the movement inside of the right hip socket. And then reverse the direction of that circle. Notice your breath. Keep the back of your head heavy, as if this circle were a way to hypnotize yourself. And one more time, reverse the direction of the circle. Feel free to explore a different size circle, maybe a little bigger, a little smaller. And then when you're ready, that knee is going to line up right over your right hip. Bring your right foot down to the mat. Lengthen your right leg all the way out and pause for a second. What differences do you notice between your right and your left side? And then as you're ready, we can do what we did earlier, where we drag the right heel in towards the right sitting bone to bring that leg in. Roll the thigh into center to stand the foot, and then drag the other leg in. Roll the knee into center, so both knees are bent, feet close to the pelvis. As you exhale, bring your left knee into your chest now. Interlace your hands behind your left knee or thigh. They don't literally have to be interlaced, just hold on to the leg. Move the leg away from you so that it straightens out your elbows, but you're still able to drop your shoulders back. Breathe to lengthen the foot for the sky, and then bend the knee and relax the foot. Just moving through the left knee now, maybe to straight, maybe not. Notice what you find. Go as far as you can go, as long as it feels like you can breathe, you can stay present. If it's not a lot of sensation, if it's feeling pretty good, you're welcome to lengthen your right leg all the way out on the mat, which will lengthen out the back of your left leg a bit more. Notice what phase of your breath you use to straighten your knee, what phase of your breath you use to bend your knee. Relax your jaw, relax your eyes. The next time that your left knee bends, go ahead and pause. If your right leg's not lengthened out, lengthen it out now. And then take your left foot to the standing on the outside of your right leg, maybe the thigh, the knee, or down by the calf, wherever it feels comfortable. Inhale, reach your hands up for the sky again, fingertips pointing over the breastbone rather than the face, point them over the chest. And now it's the left hand that can guide the right arm over as we roll to the left. Notice how the back of the right shoulder comes off the mat, and then we roll back to center and we breathe. Breathing to the side, keeping the right elbow straight, especially the left one might bend a little bit as you roll to the left, or the left arm will get longer as you roll to the left, possibly, maybe not. Again, just notice what your body does. What does the leg do? Maybe it does nothing. And you can roll your chin towards your left shoulder again, like we did initially when we roll the arms to the side. Keep releasing the expression on the face, tuning into how you roll on the back of your skull. And we'll just do this one last time. And the next time that you come back through your center, pause, allow the arms to release down. Float your left knee in towards your chest. The left knee stays bent. The foot is just dropped down towards the floor, and begin to circle the left thigh or knee around. Again, a somewhat small circle. And of course, you'll feel some movement in your pelvis and other parts of your body, but notice that it's subtle, that the circle is small enough so that it's as if the thigh bone is sitting right over the mouth, the capsule of the left hip. Really hydrating, smoothing out, massaging the inner lining of your left hip. And when you're ready, reverse the circle of your left leg. Breathing in and out slowly, releasing through the shoulders. And then again, when you're ready, reverse the direction of the circle. And then once again, we'll bring our left foot down to the mat, lengthen the left leg all the way out. Notice now if you feel more balanced or if you notice other differences between right and left sides. And as you inhale, one more time, reaching both arms up and over the head, taking another long and yawning stretch. And then sweeping the arms out, down and around, draw the knees in towards the chest, hugging the knees into the chest and beginning to rock from side to side. Place the right hand on the right knee and the left hand on the left knee, and we'll turn this rocking motion into a circle. So we'll rock both knees to one side, move them away from the chest, circling around the back of the pelvis, over to the other side and back around again. Bringing the movement up a little higher. And then reverse the direction of your circle. And when you're ready, hug the knees back in towards the shoulders, separate them wide apart, and then draw them in. Notice if you can sense any changes through the lower back or pelvic area, if you can remember what it felt like before. And then when you're ready, you'll just roll right onto your right side. Keep your knees close to your chest. Use the right arm as a pillow, and we'll go into a little bit of our book opening. Interlacing the hands behind the head, keeping the knees stacked. Inhale and send the top elbow forward towards the mat. Keep the top elbow close to your head and start to roll your head back into your hands, opening the chest, breathing in and out. Keep reminding the abdomen that it can relax. Remind the parts of your body resting on the floor that they can keep dropping into the mat. Roll back through your side and forward again. And just follow your own pace. Take advantage of this shape to explore how your breath moves your rib cage. And what that means is that there's a moment when your chest is open towards the sky. If you take in a deep inhale and a slow exhale, where you can really feel your ribs move, maybe. Maybe you feel it somewhere else. Keep reminding the jaw and the eyes that they can let go. The jaw and the skull, the jaw mirrors the pelvis. So to help release around and support what we started with, we relax the jaw, and that really empowers our system to understand that we're so supported that all those layers of extra we don't need right now. And the next time that your heart is open towards the sky, you're looking up towards your ceiling, pause there. And on your exhale, slide your top knee back and in towards your chest. As you bring your top elbow in towards your head, start to take your top knee back into the space behind you, sending the top elbow forward. As your head rolls back into your hands, your top knee is going to slide forward towards the chest. You turn to look back at the sky. And I'm just using the term look very loosely just to direct the movement. You're welcome to keep your eyes closed. You don't have to literally look at anything with your eyes. And instead, you can start to see internally with your eyes closed. Just finding your own pace and your own rhythm. And the next time that the left leg reaches into the space behind us, we're going to keep it back there. Your top elbow reaching into the space in front of you. Release your top arm and very gently lift yourself up. So your top leg is behind you. We're going to lift up, turn to face the mat and place the elbows on the ground. And this might be a big twist. So your front hand or your left hand can stay straight. You don't have to necessarily come down on both elbows. And it might be something that you just ease into. So at first, just kind of feel around, make sure you can still breathe. If it feels too intense, walk your elbows closer to your knee. So find the angle where you feel good, where you feel like you can breathe. Press down gently into the elbows or into the right elbow and the left hand to feel length through your spine, shoulders away from the ears, and just hold it here and take a few breaths. So we're going to use the breath to massage our internal parts in this shape. Exhale slowly and really thoroughly, right? And maybe as you're hanging out and breathing there, you need to make changes. So do what you need to do. Feel your abdomen inflate and expand upon inhalation, and then when you exhale, feel how you draw everything in and up as a result of fully exhaling. The exhale is what draws up, the inhale is what creates expansion and release. We'll take one more breath here. And then we'll slide the bottom arm out, coming back onto lying on the side. The left hand can just rest in front of the chest. Straighten the left leg all the way out to a straight left leg. Press the heel out and away. And as you exhale, take your straight left leg forward. Inhale and take your straight left leg back. And again, you can breathe in whatever pattern feels best. Notice how the side of the body is resting into the mat as you hinge your top leg back and forth. As if your foot wanted to reach away from your body. So it's not only traveling back and forth, it's traveling out and away from us. And when you're ready, you'll bring your top knee in, bend the knee, rest the top knee on the bottom knee. And on the following inhale, keep the knees together, lift just the top foot, and that's going to kind of roll the top hip in. Exhale, release the foot down, let everything go. Inhale, lift the foot up. Exhale, bring the foot down, let everything release. We'll just repeat this a few times. You can use your top hands to feel back into the tissues on the side of your body. And you might sense that when your foot comes up, your knees stay together. It creates a bit of tone around your waist. And when your foot comes down and you fully release, it releases the tone. Maybe you don't feel it responding, and that's okay. That's why we're doing it as well. And we'll do one more like this. And the next time the foot comes down, keep the foot down. Take the top arm now, wrap it around the top of your head so that your top hand reaches around for your bottom ear. And if your forearm can sit over the crown of your head, that's great. And if it can't, that's great as well. You can bring it more in front of your face. Yeah, so find the angle that's appropriate for your top shoulder. And now as you're breathing, visualize the side of the rib cage that's on the floor moving into the floor to lift your head slightly away from the bottom arm, and then slowly bring the head back down. Breathe in to float up. Breathe out to float down. And if breathing in the opposite way supports you better, then breathe in the most supportive way. Be mindful again, we're not trying to stretch anything, we're not trying to get anywhere. Only come up as far as it feels like you can sing, you can speak clearly, there's no strain involved. When you come down, be really mindful of having a full release. So coming down and letting go is like the thing to do, right? The non-doing. And the next time that your head comes down, we're going to combine the movements. So as we inhale or exhale, the top foot and head float up together, and then the top foot and the head release down together. Breathe to come up, and breathe to release down. And again, be mindful that there's a moment to fully let go. And we'll do this one last time. And releasing down, let the top arm relax, stretch your legs all the way out, turn onto your stomach now, stacking your hands under your forehead, and just take a moment and notice, how does one side relate to the other? How do they compare? And then we'll roll the head from side to side, massaging the line of the eyebrows, appreciating how your neck moves. It's totally normal if your neck or shoulder is a bit achy after that. We're going to smooth it out. It won't last. And then when you're ready, find the center with your forehead on your hands. And as you inhale, glide your shoulders up to your ears, shrug the shoulders up, and then shrug or slide them down and release. Inhale, glide the shoulders up. Exhale, glide the shoulders down. Do that 2 more times. And the next time that the shoulders glide down, keep them down. Press your pubic bone and the front of your ribs into the mat. Begin to lift your head away from your hands. Look forward, curl your neck back, stretch the eyes to look up, and then let your gaze come down. Let your forehead come down and fully release. Inhale, glide the shoulders up while your head is down. Exhale, glide your shoulders down. Press your pelvis and ribs into the mat to float your head up. Now we do literally open the eyes. Stretch the eyeballs to look up as you curl back in your neck. And then relax the eyeballs to look down as you bring your head down. Keep your head down to draw the shoulder blades up. Last time, shoulder blades down. Pelvis presses, the ribs press, the head is up. Open the eyes, curl back in your neck and in your eyes. And then again, release the forehead down. Let it all go. Roll your head from side to side. When you're ready, you're going to roll onto your left side now. We'll lie down on the left side. Hug the knees in close to the chest. Interlace both hands behind your head to balance out our book opening now on this side. Kind of modified book opening with the hands behind the head. So we can start sending the elbow forward or back. You know what to do. Reminding yourself your face can release. You can go back to having your eyes closed, relaxing your jaw, exploring your breath in all these different shapes and angles. Staying to breathe in any part of the movement that feels inviting and welcoming, where you want to explore your breath. And notice what your breath does to your body. And when you feel ready, on one of the next times that the top elbow is rolling forward, keep the top knee bent and slide that bent top leg into the space behind you. And then let the head start to roll back into your hands as your top knee starts to roll into your chest. Your top elbow coming in as you roll to your side, and your top leg reaching back as your top elbow rolls forward. And again, find your own way to play and flow with the movement. You can even play with the timing. So if it's feeling really synchronized, kind of playing with letting your top leg start to travel first, and notice how it just pulls the upper body along. Or if the top leg starts to come into the chest, And then you initiate rolling back. Changing the way that we go about it can give you different experiences, different moments of release. Sometimes those spontaneous adjustments can come along with these shapes, especially when we get curious and start to change the timing and the way we do it. And just know that with every breath you take and every movement you make, you're clearing space, you're massaging your internal everything, all of the parts. And we'll just play with this for a few more moments. And one of the next times that your top leg is in that space behind you and your top elbow is reaching forward, pause there. Release your top arm, slide the elbow under the chest and start to prop yourself up, turning your upper body towards the mat now. And again, if when you bring your bottom elbow underneath your body, it just feels really tight, you just straighten the top arm out so that it decreases the twist in the trunk. We're just going to stay here and breathe, being mindful that the neck can stay long, that we're able to inhale, allow the abdomen to expand. Exhale slowly and really thoroughly. You can use your mouth towards the end of the exhale if that helps you squeeze that last drop of air out. And remember, as we hold it, sensations will change. So make the adjustments you need to stay comfortable, to stay connected to your breath. When you feel that you're ready, you'll slide your bottom arm all the way out, come back to lying on your side, stretch your top leg all the way out and just feel your top heel sliding away from you, creating some length up at your waist. And as you inhale, you can sweep your straight top leg forward and breathe to sweep your straight top leg back. Be mindful of how the side of the body rests on the mat, how it remains heavy as we move through the top leg. Feeling like the heel presses out and away from us, only as much as we just stay heavy through the side. We'll just do 2 more where we're sweeping the straight top leg back and forth, relaxing the jaw, the shoulders, and the face. And when you're ready, bringing the top leg to bend again and rest on the bottom leg. Let everything fall and release. Inhale, keep the knees together, lift your top foot up. Exhale, bring the top foot down and let it go. Now again, you can use your top hands to Explore what happens through the waist, through the side of the body, what happens through the top hip. And even with your hand, you can kind of guide the top pelvis. It rolls in when the foot lifts up. It rolls out when the foot comes down. So the hand can listen, it can sense what's going on, and it can also talk. It can also provide guide or information. Again, be mindful that bringing the foot down and letting everything go is a thing to do. It's easy to get caught up with that next thing to do, right? Especially when we know what the next step is. So choosing instead to have that pause and that moment in between where we just let go, that's the next thing before we roll back up into action. And the next time that the foot comes down, it can stay down. Inhale and reach the top arm back up and over the head, sweeping it over the top of the head to reach around for the bottom ear and back, whether it's over the head, in front of the face, either way is fine. Inhale, send the ribs into the mat to float the head away from the floor, and then bring it back down for a full release. And again, it's very normal and natural for the top shoulder and the bottom shoulder even to get a little tired. So every time you come to the mat, you let go. And it might not fully let go. It might be a little awkward. And that's okay, as long as there's no sharp shooting pain. Awkward is good. Awkward means it's a pattern, a neural net that's just not that clear, not that trained, if you will. When you come down, have a full release and wait for your breath. The next time you come down and let go, pause. We'll inhale, the head and the top foot come up together, and then they release down and together. Inhaling up. Exhaling down to release. We'll just do this one last time. And then again, fully letting go, resting the top arm down, stretch both of your legs all the way out, flipping back onto your stomach, stacking your hands back underneath your forehead. Let everything go. Take a deep breath and release. And then again, we'll roll our head from side to side. And then as we're ready, finding center with the forehead on the hands. One more time, inhale to glide shoulders up to the ears. Exhale, glide the shoulders down. Press your pelvis and low ribs into the mat. Peeling your head up, looking up, and this time open your jaw. Push your jaw down as your eyes look up. And then close the mouth and the eyes as the head releases down. Inhale, lifting the head up to open the eyes and open the jaw. And then closing the jaw and releasing the eyes. Let everything go when you come back down. One more time. And the next time that you come down, bring your forehead onto the mat this time, your hands next to your chest. Inhale and draw the shoulders back up to the ears. Glide the shoulders down. Push your pelvis and hands into the mat and peel the front of your body off of the mat, coming up as high through your arms as it feels good in your low back, maybe to straight arms, maybe not. And then slide the elbows in along the sides of your body. Articulate the front of the body down to the mat. Bring the forehead to the ground. Inhale, glide the shoulders up. Exhale, glide the shoulders down. Keep the elbows in close to the seams of your body. Push your pubic bone forward as you come up, sending your tail forward. And then elbows into the sides of the body. Shoulders down and away from the ears, forehead to the mat. Inhale, shoulders up. Last time. Shoulders roll back. We press into the earth to rise up. This time we push our knees into the mat and fold into child's pose. And let's take a wide child's pose. Separate the knees wide apart. Walk the hands out over the head as long as you can keep the pelvis back. If the pelvis comes off of the feet, then bring the hands under the head instead. And breathe. Take one more slow and full breath. Inhaling, start to lift your head, look up, slide your hands out in front of you if they're not there already. And then walk your fingertips away as you keep pressing your pelvis back. If we want to stretch the skin on the back side of the body. And as we exhale, we're going to float forward onto our hands. Walk our knees in close to our hands now. This time, bring the knees together and close to the hands and sit back towards the feet and like tighten up your child's pose now. Now it's like a tiny little ball and breathe. And again, the priority is the pelvis down first. So if the head needs to be up, you support the head with the hands in order to get the pelvis as low as possible. And then when you're ready, start to send your tailbone down. You're going to make your way up to sitting, and you can sit crisscross. In fact, we'll all just have a seat crisscross. I'm going to sit on the mat. And just notice how you feel as you come up. Relax your abdomen. And we're going to do a diamond shape with our feet, just to balance this all out and bring it up to sitting. So soles of the feet together, and they can move them away from your groin. So they don't have to be too close to the tailbone. And you can always lean back on your hands too. If it feels like it's hard to hold yourself up, if it's a lot of effort and not comfortable, just lean back, take up space, make more space for yourself to be comfortable. As you're ready, bring your right knee up and over towards your left knee, and that's going to bring you onto the outside of your left hip. Your left hand is on the mat. Look over your left hand and back at the space behind you. Then bring your head around to the knees. Lift the top knee up and over, find center. Then your left knee comes over, your right hand is behind you. Turn and look over your right shoulder. Bring your head back towards your knees, and then your top knee opens, and we're going to keep it going. And if you need space, your hands can stay behind you. They can kind of push the floor away and guide you. Finish the movement with your eyes looking over the top shoulder. If it feels comfortable and familiar and you've got the space in the hips, you can practice doing it without the hands or even with the genie arms. One forearm in front of the other. I realize that many may not even know what the genie arms is that even a thing anymore. I dream of Genie sitcom from the 80s. I know it. Maybe it's even from the 70s, not sure. Going from side to side here. And it's a combination too, right? Sometimes it just starts one arm can come across. and then the other arm comes up, and then you switch for the support. So we find the steps that we need to take, right? It's like we build our own ladder so that we can honor our moment and stay fully present in it. So we'll just do this a couple more times from side to side. And the next time you come around through center, pause, sit in a comfortable position, whatever that feels like for you in this moment. Close your eyes and just let go into your pelvis and notice how you feel. And we'll bring our hands onto our heart center, on our chest, on our breastbone, and connect with our hearts. Notice what the space in your chest feels like. Taking a moment to bring something to mind that you feel a deep sense of gratitude, a thought that produces the energy of really deep gratitude. Notice how this feeling comes out of the heart center and can fill up your entire body, your entire being. So much that it spreads out and around you. And then as you feel ready, you'll reach your arms up over your head, look up, open the eyes, spread the fingers, take a deep breath. And then bring the hands together, down, back in front of your chest, bowing your head down at yourself, this time with your eyes open, fully present with yourself. Knowing that you can drop into this sense of presence at any given moment. You can do this. Nobody knows what you do inside in your inner world. So tuning in and staying present. Thank you so much. Thank you, Therese, for that word at the beginning. Have a wonderful evening or day.